love us in the hood. Cause next to Jesus on the cross was a crook sinner and a killer. God love us in the hood. Cause in the streets is the hood dwellers. And I know we feel us. God love us in the hood. That's why he with us in the prisons. And he take time to listen. God love us in the hood. Cause next to Jesus on the cross was the crook sinner. But he forgive us. He who has ears, let him hear. And he who has sight, let him see. He who has life, let him be. See, everything goes through change. Those who know don't talk, and those who talk don't know a thing. Men are born soft and turned tough. Dead, they are stiff and harsh. I've been kissed by God. I've been hurt, I've been marked for death. Almost ripped apart by the beast, but he missed his mark. Alone in the dark, my thoughts had sparked up. When I saw my body on the floor, from above I watched it all. Yo, it came to me, the pain in me. Many slain, empty skulls where a brain should be. It strangely seemed like it was a dream, but the sirens had never woke me. Only reason I'm here now is cause God chose me. And to me, I'm only just a crook, but God love us hood. God love us in the hood. Cause next to Jesus on the cross was a crook sinner and a killer. God love us in the hood. Cause in the streets is the hood dwellers. And I know we feel us. God love us in the hood. That's why he with us in the prisons. And he take time to listen. God love us in the hood. Cause next to Jesus on the cross was the crook sinner. But he forgive us day by day by day. I sit back and pray. My thugs get packed away in a maxi cage. They pass away. They went off the casket way. My gas was sprayed, but that won't bring them back today. So long, my cronies now gone for eternity. The team we got left on the set now turn to me. Can't speak, tears in my eyes, revenge in my mind. I ride past the church where they got his body in fine. They taking him to the hearse to put his body in dirt. That's it, pay my respects, wipe my tears with my shirt. Now it's time to do work.
Yo, what's good, everybody? I mean, you just tuned into the Soul Po Revolt podcast. I mean, it's the 5th official episode. We here, we live, baby. You know what I mean? But yeah, this episode, I'm gonna try to touch on the importance of black art. You know what I mean? Because black art matters, black artists matter. You know what I mean? The culture matters. You know what I mean? We need to support our own culture, support our artists because they're the ones that help us envision changes in our society and envision the aspirations that we want in our society. I mean, black art matters. We do it through the art. I mean, y'all know I love quotes, so I'm gonna start off with a couple quotes. All right, so the first quote is by Claudia Jones. Claudia Jones, if you don't know who she is, look her up. She's the GOAT, hands down. GOAT, GOAT. Like, when we talk about goats, like, I know I talk about goats a lot. I call a lot of people the GOAT. But Claudia Jones, yeah, she the GOAT. Google her right now. GOAT. That's all you gonna see. But yeah, all right. So what she said, Claudia Jones, she said, a people's art is the genesis of their freedom. Um, yes, like art is basically, we use art to envision uh, different ways of, like, not different ways, but different aspects of freedom. You know, we use art to bring up issues and bring up social injustice problems that we deal with. And through art, we also are able to depict how we best see the world changing to allow us to be free. You know what I mean? So we use art to not only bring up issues, but we also can use art to uh, show it, to depict an image, to portray an image of what it would be like um, if we actually were to, if we actually did correct the problem that was brought up. You know what I mean? So I don't know if like if you listen to this, if you ever heard the one song by Lupe Fiasco, "All Black Everything." I feel like that's just really like that song, man. It's an excellent song. You talk about black art, like I feel like that really, yeah, like Lupe was on it. I mean, I don't know what he up to now or what type time, but that song, like all black everything, he was talking about how like imagine the world if it was just all black everything. You mean like have like we never went through slavery, wasn't no slave ships, all that. Like yeah, it's a really good song. You should check it out. You mean if you never heard it. Um, yeah, so that's really what I'm trying to get at. Like, why is art important? So yeah, I'm using music as one like the main art form to be using examples from because I know a lot of people listen to music. I know music is therapeutic for a lot of people. So I'm a like most of the analogies I use is gonna be related to music, even though it's other forms of art. You mean, shout out to all the painters, all the visual artists out there, the graphic design niggas. You mean, everybody out there. Shout out to y'all. But music, I feel like, is probably the easiest one to use to really explain to people, um, like how why art matters. So yeah, I'm gonna be talking about music a lot, I guess, this episode. Um, and another quote I wanted to read is by James Baldwin, and he said, "You think your pain and your heartbreak are unprecedented in the history of the world, but then you read. It was books that taught me that the things that tormented me the most were the very things that connected me with all the people who were alive, who had ever been alive." End quote. I feel like with that quote, James Baldwin, he was really just trying to get at how art connects us. Like how uh, you may be feeling a certain type of way, but then you could, like, he was talking about reading a book, but I know it can happen through music, it can happen through looking at a drawing or a painting. I mean, you might be going through something and then you experience this artwork, and then you you can identify yourself within that artwork because the message being portrayed through that art is a similar one to a message that you may be holding on to that you may haven't expressed to another human being yet. And I feel like that's what James Bond was trying to get at: how art connects us, how it validates our feelings, our emotions. You mean how through art we're able to see the world in a bigger light and see how, hey, like, I'm not, you might not be the only person going through whatever you're going through. You mean, and it's through art where we can understand that how, like, hey, like, it's just a normal human experience. You mean, so yeah, that's just a couple quotes. I mean, I just wanted to open that with. So let's get into it. Art, like the importance of black art. So really, as existential like beings, like existentialism, and I'm big on existentialism because I feel like all humans are existential, uh, meaning that we concern ourselves with trying to figure out our origin. We concern ourselves with trying to figure out truth, things like that. Like what purpose, things like that. Like just trying to uh, we concern ourselves basically with ideas about truth, history, origin, and the purpose of our existence. You mean, um, and a lot of people turn to religion to provide themselves with a framework to place themselves in within the grand scheme of human existence. So existentialism, like we all existentialists, whether you know it or not. You're existentialists, because everybody, we all think about like where do humans come from? Well, what's going to happen? Is God real? Things like that. Like these are existential questions. Like, and if you didn't exist, you wouldn't be asking these questions. But us being human beings, we are the only creatures on the planet that concern ourselves with these ideas. Well, I really can't even say that. Well, I don't know, because we don't talk to other animals, so we don't know what the fuck they be thinking. But that's a whole nother podcast. But yeah, even in the like, a lot of people turn to religion to like further existential need. Like through religion, we get a lot of stories like about creation, about human identity and purpose, where we come from, what we supposed to be doing while our time is spent on the planet, and things like that. And even in the context of religion, I mean, we should acknowledge the importance of artwork, because artwork, I mean, mean, it serves as a way of conveying and furthering the message. And consuming art, whether it's visual, musical, whether it's written like literary or oratorical, it's like somebody giving a speech, anything, whatever. I mean, it has a profound effect on the human psyche. Um, like everything you consume, it has an effect on you. Like whether it's you eating it, you looking at it, you listening to it, you smelling it. I mean, it's affecting you. Once it goes in through, once you receive it through one of your senses, it's affecting you. So yeah, that's really, I can say like that's why I post memes, because I know like y'all probably don't understand everything that I be posting or all the memes I be posting, but I know y'all seen it, so it affected you in some kind of way. And I know if I post enough, it's gonna be enough of an effect, especially if I keep hitting on like the same issue. I feel like, I mean, it's going to affect you in some kind of way. So you want like a situation gonna come up, you be like, man, I had read something or I seen a meme that said something about this or said something about that, and yeah, guess who the one that posted that joke? It was me. So yeah, that's why I post memes. And yeah, like consuming art, it definitely has an effect on you. And not only is that why I post memes, but that's why in Islam is there aren't any depictions of the Prophet Muhammad, and it's why you're not supposed to have pictures in your house, or at least not the room that you pray in. Like in your prayer room, there shouldn't be any pictures hanging on the walls or around in the room, because you should just really be focused on Allah, Him, you offering your time to Him at that moment when you praying. So yeah, art is important, especially in religion, especially in a religious context. Even like you talk about controversy amongst Christians about the identity of Jesus and other biblical characters. You mean, is he black or is he white? I mean, artwork matters, because a lot of early Christian artwork, uh, it was originally a black Jesus. And then over time, next thing you know, he started looking white. So it's like, is he, like, what's going on? Art is very important. Yes, it matters whether Jesus is black or white. Yes, it matters. You know what I mean? Because identifying with your deity matters. The person who you worshiping matters. You mean is just as much. It matters just as much as the lessons that are associated with it. You know what I mean? It matters. Not so much that like it matters. Oh, because like it was mad racism back then, or like because I don't even think it was a race problem back. Like when you talk about 300 BC, I don't think racism was like a major problem, like when Jesus was born and all that kind of stuff. But it matters in the context of if you want to be worshiping somebody, what they look like. Who is this person? Like who is this person that you holding to be so benevolent? And I'm sorry. I mean, all my religious people out there. I mean, I know y'all. I mean, but you really gotta like say, like, you really gotta just stop and be like, yo, like, who is this motherfucker? For real, for real, for real. Like, on some real shit though, because if you out here just like worshiping somebody that don't even look like you, that's like from a whole total cultural background, just everything. It's like, then what are you gonna do in real life when you encounter somebody that looks like that? So yeah, it matters. I mean, art matters. Your Jesus matters. Like, and hey, I'm not religious. I mean, I don't necessarily subscribe to any religion, but hey, I know that if I'm gonna be praying to some man, um, he gotta at least be black, right? Like, right? All right, I'm gonna let y'all. I believe that they are. Yeah, I believe that with Allah. um, yeah, art. I mean, it combines the stories to the identity, and it's easy to tell with visual art. I mean, that depicts humans, but the same could be said for music and for poetry. I mean, so if we understand like a song as the telling of a story, like every story got these basic five elements. You mean you got the character, you got a setting, you got conflict, you got plot, and you got a theme. You mean it's every song. So every song is a story. Like every piece of art is a story. You mean so yeah, like you got like that. That's why yeah, the identity of the person you worship it matters. You gotta know their story. Like, who is this person? What is their story? What are they trying to say? What is this telling me when you look at a piece of art? When you look at a depiction of white Jesus, what is that telling you? Like, that's is that telling you that Jesus is white, or is it telling you that Jesus has no color, or that I don't know? Like, what is it telling you? You mean like everything has a story behind it. Every piece of art is trying to get you to think something. Like it's trying to put an idea into your mind. Like that's it's all psychological games. You mean if you ever took a psychology class, you probably know this. Like everything, like it's affecting you. It's, even if you took a advertisement and marketing class, probably like yeah, they coming for you. You mean the commercials? Yes, yes, they fucking with your mind. TV, yes, they fucking with your mind. Horror movies, drama. That's why you be all in your feelings, all in your emotions, because it's supposed to do that. It's art. You mean it's supposed to make you feel some type of way. It's not real, but you still feel some type of way. It's like, oh my god, like I can't believe, like this is a totally fake, made up story in a Hollywood fucking theater, and I'm all in my feelings, about to cry, or you scared, shaking in your boots. You mean over some artwork because it's playing on your feelings, and yeah, people have known how to play with people's emotions and feelings for years, and they've been doing it pretty successfully for the last couple hundred years or so. Yeah, I feel like so. Yeah, they know what they doing. I mean, they know how to play with your emotions, how to play with your psychological. You mean shit going on. You mean they know how to fuck with us. You mean, and that's really all they really been doing, and they've been doing it successfully. So be wary of what you consume. Yeah, it's not just the food. Know that. All right, so yeah, all right. Back to what I was saying. Anyway, so every story, you mean, got these five basic elements. Well, every song at least. Yeah, I'm gonna use an example. So, why is storytelling important? This is why black art is important, because storytelling is important. We need to tell our stories. We need to get our messages out there. You mean so? This is why. All right. So every song. So I'm gonna use two songs. I'm gonna do all right. The first song, I'm gonna just keep it real simple. I'm gonna use Two Chains. Yeah, I love them strippers. You mean I'm gonna break down that song. I'm gonna tell the story to that, and then I'm gonna do the Star Spangled Banner. You mean the most hated song? Well, I can't even. I know people love that fucking dumbass song. I hate that shit. I will never sing that song. You mean if you know me? You mean even at graduation? You mean when I graduated from Cheney? I ain't stand up. I sat my black ass down. I was not standing up or singing that dumbass song. Fuck y'all. You mean talking about you need to stand up for what? What? No, no, y'all tripping. Yeah, y'all got me fucked up. All right, so yeah, all right. So every song got these five elements: character, setting, conflict, plot, and theme. I keep going off track. All right, so yeah, I love them strippers. All right, so the characters, you got Two Chains and you got Nicki Minaj. The setting, you got the strip club or a party or whatever. You mean, and the plot is that they looking for a stripper. Like, you mean where the stripper at? Like where they at though? I mean, straight like that. Like, what are strippers at? Like, yeah. And the conflict in this song is that stripper might be your girlfriend, or you mean your and you turn your girlfriend into a stripper. Like, that's the conflict. So the reason why this song is important is because we, as black people, we can identify with this song. Well, I can't even just say just black people because a lot of other races can also identify because we like it. We love strippers. We can identify with this story. This story, it makes sense to us. We know it. We understand it. We live it. I mean, that is why art is important because black art because it portrays a message that people who are black can understand and can gravitate towards and to retell. It's just a retelling of a story. Like, yeah, let them strippers. That's anybody going to a strip club and like, yo, where the strippers at? I'm trying to take a shorty home. Like, it is what it is. You mean? But yeah, like art is important. Maybe I shouldn't have used such a vulgar song, you mean? But hey, I felt like it was suitable, you mean? Because you could do it with any song. Like every song has these five elements: character, setting, conflict, plot, and theme. So why not use a stripper song? You mean? so yeah, we gravitate toward this song because we can identify it, and this is why black art is important because we can identify with those images, we can identify with that story. You know what I mean? So in contrast to Yeah, I Love Them Strippers, let's use the Star Spangled Banner by Francis Scott Key. And why we totally do not identify with this story. Alright, so you know what I mean? Alright, so the Star Spangled Banner. I'm really just going to use the first stanza because that's the only one we use in this country because obviously if you read the whole song, yeah, no black person ever sang that shit ever. Like, yeah, if you really read the whole thing, yeah, we only the national anthem we only sing the first stanza of the Star Spangled Banner. You know what I mean? If you don't know that, then you need to look up the whole song, understand why niggas is really not supposed to be singing that joint. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick because he really know. You know what I mean? Shout out to all y'all that still sung that joint at graduation. Fuck out of here. Alright, so yeah, the Star Spangled Banner, you mean? Alright, so the character is Americans. We ain't gonna say which Americans, but Americans. That's the character, you mean? So we know people living in the United States in 1776. That's the setting. The United States in 1776. The conflict obviously is war going on. And the plot or the plot is that the narrator is drawing inspiration in the middle of a war when he see this flag flying. Like that's basically what the Star Spangled Banner is about. It's like, oh my God, niggas is killing each other. I mean, we just lost like 50 niggas in the streets, but I see the flag flying. That joint look mad beautiful. Like, damn, you mean? So he just broke down, wrote a song. Like, yeah, that's what the Star Spangled Banner is. Like, even though he wrote the song years after the war was over, that's what it was about. Like a soldier in the middle of the battlefield, looking up, seeing the flag, and being like just so mesmerized by its beauty. Like, fuck out of here. All right, so and the theme is like that the flag. I mean, like when he's seen it, like it just represented so much. It represented like victory and freedom and valor and like resiliency, and it was inspirational and it made niggas feel brave. Like, yeah, like America, fuck yeah, like on that type time, like, oh, that's the flag, like red, white, and blue, bitch. Like, yeah, like fuck out of here, like. Yeah, so that's what the Star Spangled Banner is about. And the reason why we don't identify with this song, like we don't be all up in the club singing this joint, because in 7076, African Americans, uh, although we was enlisted in the army, like, and we was fighting in that joint, we wasn't looking at that flag like, yo, that joint mad beautiful, like that joint represents all the freedom. Like, no, that was never the wave. Like, we was never on that take time. You mean, because the war, it wasn't fought to end slavery. During the war, the soldiers were still treated as inferior, and we were in segregated combat units. And the British Army offered freedom to slaves if the British Army had won. So you talk about bravery, like uh, the first person who died in the Revolutionary War was a black man, Crispus Attucks. So you mean who? You mean I I don't really see. Well, yeah, I guess the bravery part is like the only thing that really get to us. But yeah, all the other stuff you talking about freedom. Hell no, that flag don't represent no freedom for nobody. That shit ain't inspirational unless you want to be a capitalist bastard. That's really it. A capitalist, a racist capitalist. Yeah, that's the only inspiration I see from the flag. I hate that damn flag. I will burn it every time I get one in my hands. Yes, we burn flags over here. We don't wave them bitches. We burn them. You mean, yeah, get them out of here. So, yeah, I mean, we don't identify with this song because it's not a story that that's conducive with our reality. You mean, during the Revolutionary War, we wasn't looking up to the flag like, oh yes, America the beautiful, the brave, we won. Like, nah, we was like, all right, America, we won. Niggas still slaves. Like, what the fuck is going on out this joint? Like, it's 1776, nigga. Like, we still ain't free. I mean, that's the difference. You mean, see, I don't know. I hope if y'all listen to this, y'all understand what I'm trying to get at. How we identified with a stripper song, because I mean, we understand that, we live that. But when it comes to the Star Spangled Banner, this particular artwork, we don't identify with that because that's not us. Like, and this is why black art is important. I mean, because our voices matter, and we can't have people out here writing anthems for us, like, because that's not our anthem. That's not for us. It's not to be sung by us. Like, um, our voices matter. We need to come up with our own anthems. You mean we need to be heard. So like after 400 years of oppression and lies, like we need to tell our truth. Like, even if your truth is guarded by the lies and the misconceptions that we taught, they still provide context and give us an example of how we've been lied to. Like, even how, all right, so say if you listen to a couple podcasts ago, when I was talking about Jay-Z, like, even though I don't agree with his message still matters to an extent that it shows how brainwashed niggas actually is and how fucked up we is out here. Like, and that's really it. Like, it just show how we've been lied to and how we start to take on these ideas that have been given to us. Like, capitalism will never be the answer, but you see people like Jay-Z and other rappers like Diddy, he's starting to get on my nerves too. Yeah, he been trying. Yeah, keep an eye on him. He started to get on my nerves. I'm gonna have to make a podcast about him next. But yeah, like what these people are doing is like black art matters, so that we can envision freedom. But even when it's coming from somebody that doesn't have that vision, that revolutionary vision, that's being put out into their message is still important because it gives us proof that we've been lied to. Like, and that's really it. Um, and it don't mean that these people are immune, like from critique or void of responsibility to seek and learn and understand the truth of our condition. Uh, but it's like, hey, like, all right, we on like we see you doing the fucked up shit that you doing. We know it's wrong, but like we gonna use you as an example of what not to do. Like, don't be like Jay Z. Don't be like Diddy. Don't be like fucking Al Sharpton. I mean, yeah, don't be like these people because yeah, their messages are important. They still black. I mean, their voices should be heard, but heard only to understand how fucked up we is out here. Yeah, that's really how I see it. So take what you want from that. So black art, um, black art is important because as existential beings, I mean, it provides us inspiration and a framework to challenge these oppressive ideas. When the education that we receive from they schools fail us and tell us to be docile and wave our hair and little, I said, yeah, they tell us to be docile and they wave our heroes who they murder in front of our faces to make us fear the consequences that we might face for challenging the system. Like, and it's just crazy. Like, it's all crazy. Like, black art. I mean, we need art. Like, it's really no way around it. Like, art, like Claudia Jones said, art is the genesis of a people's freedom. And it's really no way around it. Like, even if you're not the most intelligent or you mean you're not articulate enough to verbally like just like explain the way you feel about society or you mean art provides everyone with an outlet to express themselves and their frustrations. Like art is important because it allows everyone to give their voice, even if your voice is the wrong voice, even if you know you don't know shit about nothing, but you still mad about everything. Art lets you still talk your shit, and you mean like that's why art is important because it allows everyone to express themselves. It allows you to get those things off your chest. You mean so you don't keep it bottled in. Like, and it's not the point whether or not you good at creating art. It's just the fact that you did it anyway because you had something to say. Um, art is art is probably the most important thing we can have right now. And even though like we really don't support our artists, we can understand this by how they starting to cut a lot of art, music programs out of schools and education. Because they know that art is important. They know how important it is to us, especially music. Like music, black people, we got the music scene on Smash. We've been had it on Smash, but now it's like really a thing where music is becoming a serious industry, like serious. Especially with like the new digital media, with, with apps and stuff like Tidal, and then you got Apple Music. Like the way we even doing music now is changing. Like every like the music industry is. I don't know what the fuck is going on because I'm not a music artist and I'm not nowhere near that industry. But like just from the outside looking in, you could see like every like from now to 10 years ago to from 2017 to 2007, everything is different. Like it's mad different. Like niggas is not signing to major record labels anymore. Nobody's buying CDs or physical copies. I mean, we got um, these companies like Tidal and Apple Music. We basically paying them to listen to music that we don't get to keep. So it's like before you'll buy a CD and you had that CD forever, like until it breaks. So it's like you actually bought the music, like you owned that junk. But now it's like you just paying somebody to listen to the music instead of Like, yeah, it's like it wasn't no subscription. It's like you just bought the album that you liked or the artist that you supported. You just bought their stuff because you bought it. But now it's like you just buy this app and now you got everybody music. So it's weird. Like everything is changing. I mean, so yeah, black art, black art is the wave, man. Like we just gotta keep creating, keep building visions, keep portraying our visions, keep depicting them in our art. I mean, whether you write poems, whether you draw, you paint, you make films, you do comedy, and yeah, I really gotta, man, I got a big beef with these comedy dudes, man. I don't really know, like, you know, like some of them is kind of cool, but they be really pushing the edge as far as like the misogyny and the anti-blackness. So yeah, it's all weird. I mean, I don't really support too many black comedians, but if you are going to the venture into that life, I mean, you should use it to help free your people. Like no matter what it is, whatever you're doing, whatever you make it, you should be trying to do it to free your people. And that's really what black art is about. It's about trying to get free. It's about explaining our current plight the best way you can and trying to give some light to a solution, maybe like your vision of how you see how we should be living or how we should get our payback and things like that. Yeah, so black art is really important, man. If you're an artist, if you're a black artist out there, shout out to you. I mean, shout out to all the artists. I mean, fuck with y'all. The creatives. I mean, yeah. I guess that's what they calling themselves nowadays. Like, I'm a creative. Fuck out here. Yeah. Yeah. But another thing, just a PS. I mean, um, don't reject criticism if you're an artist. Like, you can't reject criticism because being criticized is important. You need that, especially constructive criticism, and especially if you corny. Like you could be corny at everything. You could be corny at drawing. You could be corny at writing poems. You could be corny at rapping. You could be corny at singing. You could be corny at making beats. I mean, if you corny and somebody say like, "Yo, like that shit ass," or "Yo, you need to like maybe you should try to switch it up." Don't don't take that shit to heart, like, cause everybody is not gonna be good. Like everybody not gonna like your shit. And it's don't like, and it's not to be like, oh, like, man, fuck that. Like you just hating. Like no, like your shit probably really just ass. Like, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you want to keep making it, don't. You can't do it for other people. That's the thing. Like when you do it for other people, then you be concerned about it. You know what I mean? Or you trying to like get famous or some shit. You should be concerned about what people think about it. But if you just doing it just to express yourself, just to get your emotions out the way so you don't be all backed up and angry and shit, you know what I mean? Then go ahead, make the art. Like fuck it. I mean, ain't nobody. I mean, nobody really tripping. But yeah, just don't reject criticism because I mean, if your shit trash, your shit trash. Like it's okay. I mean, it's okay. You could get better. I mean, so yeah, I guess I'm about to end this podcast. I don't really have much more to say. Black art matters. You mean black artists matters. You mean support your local black artists. Buy a piece of art. You mean buy a painting. You mean somebody once said that you're not an adult until you buy your first painting. I believe it. Yeah, I ain't never bought no painting, but maybe one day I will. Shit, I actually maybe I won't because paintings are kind of expensive, and I feel like I could just paint my own shit. Hey, yeah, that's just the type of nigga I am. You mean like, yeah, I'm a cheap motherfucker. I'd rather do shit myself than pay somebody else to do it, especially if I know how to do it, like, or if I can figure out a way to do it. Then I'm gonna do that shit. Yeah, know that. If you know me, then you know. Like, yeah, yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'm always looking for a back door. out of something I could do. Yeah, like fuck that. Fuck paying you, but do this shit myself. You gotta be fucked up. That's how I know how to do half the shit I do now. Yeah, because I wasn't trying to pay nobody no money to do it for me. Yeah, fuck that. Got me fucked up. Yeah, so support your local black artists. You mean, whether it's buying the patent, buying the album, whatever. Like promoting a mixtape, whatever. Like just make sure it's not no corny shit, no counter-revolutionary shit, no anti-black shit, or anti-women shit. I mean, don't support that. That's the last thing you should be supporting. Don't support none of that shit. You mean, but if you talking about like real black artists that really draw, write, speak about black shit, support them. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, man, we doing it for the culture. You mean? And that's really all it is. It's about our culture. It's about preserving our legacy, and really putting out our messages to the world. Like, art is the best. I feel like the best way to communicate with people, because ain't nobody really trying to hear you talk for a fucking hour. Ain't nobody really trying to listen to this podcast. Ain't nobody really trying to read no long ass articles. So artwork is like the best way to communicate, I feel like, and it's also the easiest, because just 3 minutes on a song have you thinking for a whole fucking week, like on some real shit. How you thinking about some shit like, damn, how you going in, like just off of a little 3-minute song or a artwork, you mean a piece of a painting or a poem even, like you never know. So yeah, man, support black artists. We out here, man, we're doing it for the culture. You already know, black art matters, black artists matter. You mean, it's important, it matters. Yes. So I guess I'm gonna end this podcast off right here, you mean, and that'll be all, folks.
Sometimes you just gotta go. You will never know what you could ever be if you never try. You will never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So it wasn't no slaves in our history. Wasn't no slave ships or no misery. Call me crazy, or isn't he? See, I fell asleep and I had a dream. It was all black, everything. And we ain't get exploited. White man ain't fear it, so he did not destroy it. We ain't work for free, see they had to employ it. Built it up together, so we equally appointed. First 400 years, see we actually enjoyed it. Constitution written by W.E.B. Du Bois. When no Reconstruction, Civil War got avoided. Little black Sambo grows up to be a lawyer. Extra, extra on the newsstands. Black woman voted head of Ku Klux Klan. Malcolm Little dies as an old man. Martin Luther King read the eulogy for Ham, followed by Bill O'Reilly who read from the Koran. President Bush sends condolences from Iran, where Fox News reports live that Ahmadinejad wins the Mandela Peace Prize. You will never know what you could ever be if you never try. You will never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So it wasn't no slaves in our history. Wasn't no slave ships or no misery. Call me crazy, or isn't he? See, I fell asleep and I had a dream. It was all black, everything. And it ain't no projects. Keeping it real's not an understood concept. Yeah, complexion's not a contest, cause racism has no context. Hip-hop ain't got a section called conscious. Everybody rapping like crack never happened. Crips never occurred, no bloods to attack then. Matter of fact, no hood to attack in. Somalia's a great place to relax in. Fred Astaire was the first to do a backspin. The Rat Pack was a cool group of black men that inspired 5 white guys called the Jacksons. Eminem fitted in, but then again he inspired a black rapper trying to mimic him. And that's who really rose up out of Michigan, a sign a white rapper by the name of 50 Cent. You will never know what you could ever be if you never try. You will never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave, so it wasn't no slaves in our history. Wasn't no slave ships, wasn't no misery. Call me crazy, or isn't he? See, I fell asleep and I had a dream. It was all black, everything. And I know it's just a fantasy. I cordially invite you to ask, why can't it be? Now we can't do nothing about the past, but we can do something about the future that we have. We can make it fast, or we can make it last. Every woman queen and every man a king. And when those color lines come, we can't see between. We just close our eyes till it's all black, everything. You would never know what you could ever be. If you never tried, you would never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So it wasn't no slaves in our history. Wasn't no slave ships, wasn't no misery.